right. Hello, everyone. This is Tanya here from EduTV. I'm truly delighted to moderate the session today, which is a live panel discussion going virtually on the title Bridging School Education with Higher Education, Creating Future Ready Learners Through Global Education Ecosystems. This session is being done in association with Alliance University. As we all know, the future of education now is all about collaborations, conversations, and continuity between schools and universities. So today's session is a part of EduTV's ongoing series, It's a Matter of Principles, where we bring together the school leaders from across the world to shape the next chapter of education. My sincere appreciation and thanks to Alliance University for joining hands with us today and for being a proactive thought leader in the Indian higher education system. As we all know, today's world, students are navigating more than just exams. They are navigating rapid technological changes, global opportunities, and also the challenges of staying relevant. So, the key question that we are going to focus on for today's discussion will be how can educators, you all being the educators from the school domain and higher education, create a seamless and empowering journey from schools to universities and beyond? I'm thrilled to have school leaders from India, Singapore, and UAE, along with the university voice from Bangalore today. I welcome all our panelists, Mr. Gautam Sarkar, the principal of Aditya Birla Vani Bharati School, Hooghly, Mr. Chris from Singapore, NPS International School, Dr. Pramod Mahajan from Sharjah, the Sharjah Indian School, Ms. Anubha Srivastava, the principal of Delhi International School, New Delhi, and the university perspective will be taken care by Dr. Sheila Mahapatra, the Associate Director, Research and Professor of the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering from the Alliance University, Bangalore. Without taking much more time, I move forward to my first question. Gautam sir, if we could have your views talking about the semi-urban and the tier 2 regions, what unique challenges and opportunities do you see when preparing students for global higher education ecosystem, please?
First of all, good morning, good afternoon to all of you, because I know that EduTV is all around the world. So my wish to all the viewers, and once again, thank you, Tanya, for giving this platform to talk on this very important topic, which is very much relevant with our school. Basically, we are a tier 2 city. We face various challenges when we talk about global exposure. First thing is that the basic thing is lack of parental awareness, because they are not that way aware that how or what exactly they need to do to get their ward into a global university. Now, why I'm saying global university? Universities which are outside the country, as well as those universities to have global standards and collaboration with international universities. In our part of country, we have a very biased mindset, you can say, which is slowly we are changing. Good means you must be in a government university. Good means you must be in a local government university or few premier universities or premier colleges. But sometimes we don't know that all government universities or government colleges, they don't have adequate amount of professors or facilities, because higher studies is all about expertise. Higher studies, we assume that a person will pursue his highest or her higher studies as per his or her choice. There the challenge comes, where a parent is not ready to allow his kid or allow his ward to take admission in higher studies as per his or her wish. Rather, they always want to push them into stereotype courses, even that is there in our part of country. Like if somebody is taken science, if biology is there, there's only one option that he or she must go for medical. If he has taken PCM, there is only one option, they must go to IIT or any government engineering college. If that child has taken commerce, only one option, that he or she must do chartered accountancy. If arts, they will go for CLAT. Otherwise, rest all is general and not that important for them. So what the basic challenge what we are facing is parental awareness, because now I can't say that students are not aware. They are very much aware. They do research. They find out various facts and figures because of the curriculum, because of the school thing. But parents, they are not ready. And for that, we need private universities or government universities to come down to school level, not for the admission, but for the information part, that they must come to our level. And because nowadays with the technology, you can have online interaction both with the parents as well as with the students. If that is there, a proper bridge can be made between the global universities and our schools like Tier 2. Even I think Tier 1 also facing more or less the same problem, because parental mindset is a big problem for us in everything. Even in the change of curriculum, we face the same. Yes, over to that.
Right. Chris sir and Dr. Mahajan, you are representing schools abroad. So do you also face similar challenges there? Like Gautam sir mentioned about the parental pressure.
Uh, yeah, I'm happy to go first. Actually, okay, in terms of overseas schools like us, or probably I think Dr. Mahajan will agree with me here, the pressure is not tier one or tier two, but getting into those top level universities. Like you have the Ivy Leagues, you have the Oxbridge, you have the top 10, like the Imperial or Harvard, etc. Now, interesting thing is we do run a lot of university tours. I only came back from Boston last week. We went on a MIT, Harvard, Boston University, and Northeastern for a tour, and there are a lot of parents who send their children for this tour as well, just to know and understand the expectation of the application process, how to apply, how to get in, how the interviews, like what are those preparations that they need to look at, everything. We are also doing a trip to Stanford and UC Berkeley in 2 months' time. Then we go to Oxford and Cambridge sometime late in the month of October. So when it comes to urban schools or overseas schools, for us, the parental preparation is towards getting to the top tier universities. What we call the top 10, top 20 in the world. That's where the issue is. But we do run a lot of orientations to parents and to children, and we also, whenever the university representatives come to Singapore, we get them to our school so that the children hear from first hand from those representatives. The pressure for us is, as I said, the top tier universities. Yes.
Dr. Mahajan, if you
Yeah,
want to
I
add.
100% agree with Bhatt sir, Dr. Bhatt, and a little bit, disagreement with Mr. Gautam Sarkar. See, the parental awareness outside our overseas school, we don't have, our urban schools, we don't have. It all depends on up to what extent you are providing the platform for the parental awareness. It's a responsibility of the schools, whether it is in tier 2 or in tier 3 or in villages also. So it's a responsibility of the school to create that platform to provide all sort of awareness to the parents. I'm from a very deep rural areas, a deep village, a village, a population of 2,000 people, and we belongs to the farmer community. And the point is, there are many students in IIT, there are many students doing IIMs, there are many students in army, there are many students. Our village is called as village of teachers, village of intellectuals. Many students are teachers, maximum are teachers in various tests, and I reached to this level. So it all depends on the zeal and enthusiasm of the student and zeal and enthusiasm of the school principal to provide that platform. The leadership is that. CBSE, as far as they have opened a lot of doors, they have created the guidance and career sales and keeping the counselors appointed in every schools, and now it is compulsory also. So we have to choose the right counselors. We have to provide the platform. We have to give the exposure. Now, in my school, you will be surprised. The 11th standard admission near about 7% higher than the science closed in the commerce. And out of those students, no one wanted to be a chartered accountant. They wanted to be in the banking, in the insurance, in the private banks, in the, that sort of awareness is already there. PCMB, we offer PCMB. The people are doing much better, getting admitted in the foreign universities and top colleges and top 10 colleges of the world, US, UK. And another thing is their interviews, their intellectual aspect and the competitive exams, they are getting a lot of scholarships also. There are near about 22 students from within last 3 years has got 110% scholarship. 110% scholarship. Whatever they are expending, more than that, they are getting it. So it all depends on how they are driving the change. See, now the days were gone when the universities were demanding you should have above 90% or 95%, or you should have NEET score, or you should have JE score, or nothing. There are things are beyond that. Now, what is happening? They will go through your digital portfolio. Now, whose responsibility is this to create the digital portfolio? Whose responsibility is this to create the digital anecdotes? It is our responsibility, and it's a part and parcel of the schooling process. Now, the schooling has a different shape, different phase. It's all about coming out from the rote memory system, coming out of all those traditional views, coming out of those aspects which keep the students limited only up to engineering or up to medical. Now the thing is, we have to make our school future fit, schooling futuristic, and students should be future ready. Future ready not only for the jobs, but future ready to think beyond the box rather than to throw the box out. Talent is there. Exposure is our responsibility. Providing platform is our responsibility. And awareness in the world is, in the digital world, awareness is like anything. And now this era, these students, ZZ, they are not that much influenced by the parents. There is no second thought. There is no second thought at all. The days were gone when the parental policing and parental bossism were having the upper age. Now this generation, they are thinking beyond. And they are getting a lot of supports also from various channels. Now, EDU, so many times we are doing a lot of such type of panel discussion. There are many other resources are also there, and their group, peer group. The peer group conversation makes them understood each and everything, not only to the student, but the peer group interaction of the parents. Now, like in my school, there are 985 students in 12th standard. So we have a WhatsApp groups. So all the parents, they discuss within them. Now, WhatsApp is free, all the things. If we do that thing, put one video in that, and then they will search so many things. We are putting all the circulars which is coming from the CBSE, and then they are exploring anything. So the point is, we have to enlighten the students as well as the parent about what meta skills. In the meta skill, I always quote, exploring about how to explore, understanding about how to understand. So if the parents started exploring, trust me, they are doing wonders. We have a parents which is the students is first generation learner. Parents don't know ABCD. They are workers. But the students, they got 98 and 99 marks. Two students have got 100 out of 100 in subject like English. First generation learner. Got selected in 2-3 universities. Now, yesterday I was discussing with them which university is proper. One student got selected in IIT Guwahati. He said, sir, no, I don't want to join IIT. I wanted to join some research in plasma in Ahmedabad. See the thought process. I had a word with the principal of that IIT. He says, what's wrong? Our package is near about 75 lakhs. The answer is, sir, we are not behind the package. I wanted to satisfy my inherent talent in doing something better in plasma and understanding that thing. So that sort of awareness, that sort of things. But how it is coming up? Giving freedom to the peer group discussions among within them, giving freedom, the complete owner, make them learn owner of their own learning process, train them to explore how to explore. Parents also, whenever the parent teachers meetings are happening, I'm giving the presentation, teachers are giving the presentation only to explore the unknown. Known things are everybody knows that thing, engineering college, medical college, and the chartered accountant and all. But to explore the unknown, because now the future is for unknown. And it's my humble submission to the universities. I have visited Alliance University and I'm very happy to quote that thing. They are exploring those unknown. They are exploring those courses which will have the future. And see, nowadays we are talking about skill. See, the skills are also changing every day. Now, driving was a skill. Now, driverless cars. So, what happened to that skill? No, languages of the computer was the skill. COBOL, C++, H+, C++. Now, single click. So, skills are also changing. So, skilling about how to skill, exploring about how to explore. If we train the students, if we provide the platform to the students, I think the future is fantastic. Future is bright. And that bridging between school and colleges or universities has to happen.
Can
Thank
I
you.
just
want
add
to.
one word to what you ended with, sir? Learn how to unlearn. That's how the world is progressing now. Every day we have a new technology coming in. Every day we have to adapt to that.
And it is not only that degrees and all. Now I'm MSc Physics gold medalist, specialization in electronics and solid state. Whatever I have studied in my PG, now it is in 11th and 12th. So whether the question is whether my degree or my post-graduation is vested? No, not at all. Because I know learning about how to learn, applying about how to apply in the unknown situation, whatever we have learned. So that technique is important. And really, if we train the students for that and create the awareness among the parents about that, that gap will be bridged very nicely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your inputs, Dr. Mahajan. Anubha, ma'am, you're there with us? Ma'am, you're on mute. Ma'am,
Am I audible now?
yes, ma'am, you're very much audible now. Anubha, ma'am, we've heard the perspective of Dr. Mahajan, Dr. Chris, and even Gautam sir for that matter. You are based out of New Delhi. Now, talking about students based out of New Delhi who have got access to top universities and coaching centers, how can we ensure that the emotional and the career clarity, how can this the transition on emotional and the career clarity be made for them?
Namaskar to everyone. See, I basically believe that being in a tier 1 city or being in tier 2, tier 3 city today does not make much of a difference. I have the set of parents with me who are equally unaware as would be in any of the city in the remotest part of the country. And you also have parents there in remote areas who are very aware. So we get a mix of parent, and here I am with the words of Dr. Pramod Mahajan that the exposure given in the school makes a lot of the difference. Now, there are two aspects that you have mentioned right now, Tanya ma'am, which become very relevant for where the children are going tomorrow. One is how we are preparing them emotionally for their future tomorrow. And when I say emotional resilience, it is not just learning to balance your emotion. It is also the adaptability of the children towards problem solving. The financial literacy, because the children will be leaving their home and going to a newer place. It is also understanding the finer threads of intercultural relationships. And I would want to take one example here. When I hosted a bunch of 5 students from USA, and they were here with us as host students, staying with the host families here within my parent fraternity. 2 of the children, they felt very intimidated. So I called them and I wanted to understand what is happening. And then when I tried to understand what is happening, they felt further more intimidated and they were not comfortable. So I had to involve the parent organization through which we were coordinating the collaboration between the 2 countries. That was AFS. The AFS coordinator was more approachable for those students. And it was a big learning for me as a school leader, for all my community, that for you as children, even if we ask them too much, how are you doing? Why aren't you eating? You haven't eaten enough. They're not comfortable because they have their own circle of privacy where they want no intrusion. My choice, my way of living without anyone telling us anything. So these are the little things which are also very important in preparing a child for stepping into a newer domain, understanding the cultural differences of the area, uh, understanding the differences in the climate and therefore the required differences in the food culture, understanding the differences in the behavior of the people, to embrace the people there without housing any kind of biases or being judgmental. When I'm preparing the children to take up higher academia, uh, for me as a leader also, it becomes very important that I know what are the different type of courses. Now, many children who are making it to unconventional areas, if you do a statistical analysis, you will find that many of them are coming from unpredictable, deep-seated areas in the country, be it India or be it any of the country on the globe. It is not necessary that they are coming from the most affluent or the most um, aware institution of a place which is well equipped. So in terms of higher academia, we were having this discussion on the EduTV panel yesterday also, and I talked about profile building there. I have been to Alliance University as part of their exposure program. And I really enjoyed the variety of programs that they are offering to the children. And I must thank Alliance University for offering internships to the student also, to give them that kind of exposure. But yes, when I say higher academia, it becomes important for the children to learn the skills that are going to be helping them get adjusted in the higher institutions of their choice. It is not just knowing what kind of courses you want to do. You want to get into Ivy League, you want to do, let us say, artificial intelligence only in one particular sector, or you want to study neuroscience, or you want to study any other newer kind of course. You should be having the right kind of digital and research literacy. Otherwise, that is going to be a big challenge for you. And we as a school, are we preparing the children for that? Are the children, do I have that acumen to continuously keep on learning what is happening new in the world? Because if I do not have, I'm not taking it to the students. I'm not taking it to the faculty. I remember taking the children to the research institutes, and this comes to all the school leaders and all the parents who feel that if you take sciences, the areas for you are PCM, PCB, going to NEET or AIEEE in India, or for that matter, engineering and medical in any part of the world. So when my children went into a research institute in Delhi and they understood what is happening at the field of genetics level, Out of a batch of 25 students going for that exposure visit, 5 of them decided to get into pure life sciences research. And today, one of my students is a postdoctoral fellow in Pennsylvania University. Many of them decided to understand the chromosome structures, get into the understanding of bioinformatics, leaving biology and taking up assisting areas. And I also have students who worked on into uh, the research aspects, studying the virology when the pandemic was quite prevalent. They were the ones who were giving me the feeders. Ma'am, do not go by the news. Look into these kind of research paper. This is giving you the actual pictures. So exposure matters a lot, and exposure in all aspects, not just academic readiness, not just telling the higher academia, but also helping the student assess their skills, understand their liking, understanding their adaptability, and also understanding how much the institute is going to support the kind of diversity that they are looking for. What is the career support that they are going to get from the institute when they want to take it to the next professional level?
Great, great. Ma'am, I think these inputs do matter for sure. Coming to Dr. Sheila Mahapatra now. Dr. Sheila, you've been fostering research ecosystems and aligning them with, I mean, talking about your experience with universities. We've taken the school aspect now. Ma'am mentioned about the research thing, which is important. And you have an experience in fostering research ecosystems and aligning them with the global challenges. What skills or attributes regarding, according to you, should school graduates start developing early to thrive in such an environment, ma'am?
Okay, so good afternoon again, everyone. I was hearing very carefully to what Dr. Mahajan has put forward and Anubha ma'am has put forward, and I'm grateful for recognize for them to recognize us as an university who is trying to make a difference, as an university who are trying to take those challenges and think beyond the box. Well, the underlying principle which Alliance University now is with the understanding that academia and research cannot thrive separately. They go hand in hand. So this is the basic principle which we are looking at, because uh, when you are in a higher education institution, and we feel we do have a responsibility to align the schools in understanding what the future requirement is. So when we are looking at imparting education, whether at school level or whether at the higher education, as an higher education institution, we should look at those areas which would stand maybe 10 years down the line. What we are teaching today should not be obsolete. So that is the thing which should be the focus. What are those areas which research is going on? That's why research becomes important today. If we are looking at, I'll just give an example. If you are looking at, and where we stand, that the fossil fuels will be depleted somewhere down the line, then what are the new areas of research that is happening in that area? Hydrogen becomes one of the latest area of research. So how we can align the next generation to work, to get to work in those areas, because the industries will be running behind that field of research. You will be having more employment there. That is number one. Number two, why not understand the skills of the student and try to make them, rather than job seekers, rather than becoming a job creator? Why not drive in them that entrepreneurial skills? So Alliance University last November hosted one of the most flagship event under the Ministry of Innovation, that is the AICT ID bootcamp, where we had more than 150 school teachers and principals visiting our university, and this was totally driven to understanding or building the ecosystem of innovation from the school level, to make them understand how that can be translated into the students. Okay, that is one aspect. Another aspect where research is an important, has a very important role to play. Another important thing which Anubha ma'am, I think I resonate with the same feeling, is having an understanding of financial know-how, where in India we generally our students lack that. They don't understand that. So from the school, if we can give them the basic insights about understanding finances, that is very important. That's a very important thing she pointed out. And yes, emotional resilience. Our students, whether at school level or at higher education institution, I feel the youngsters should understand the importance of failures. So beside having the IQ, there is a very high requirement of having the required amount of EQ and also SQ, social quotient. So all the three ingredients should be together to nurture them for the future. This is what I feel. Some of the takeaway from what has been discussed now by the panelist.
Thank you so much for your inputs, Dr.
I
Mahapatra.
wanted to add one more thing, what
Sure,
Dr. Mahapatra said. IQ, EQ, SQ is fine. Nowadays, what matters much more is AQ, adversity question. During the tough situation, how effectively they bounce back with the smiling face.
Yes, that's what I said.
Ensuring,
Accept
ensuring
failure.
that smiling dynamics on the faces of the student.
Right.
By the schooling as well as by the universities. Yeah, that is there. If they are smiling, they will be creative, they will be innovative, and then they will explore the things, they will embrace the machine, they will embrace the technology, and they will drive the change instead of getting driven by the change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mahajan. Dr. Chris, coming to you, Singapore is known for integrating innovation and disciplines in education. I mean, is there something which you feel that Indian schools and universities can adopt from Singapore's approach to readiness and for higher education as well?
Okay. Let me just put it slightly differently. Every year, our children do apply to all top universities. This year, we sent 6 of them to Ivy Leagues and 3 to Oxford, 2 to Cambridge, 13 to Imperial, 17 to UCL, top universities, and 47 to Singapore universities. NUS being number 8 in the world, there were 24 kids who got into NUS for various courses. Let me take the question back to the original theme of the today's discussion. It is, what is the gap? I call it as what every university looks at in a candidate is the base level of the knowledge. Is a child competent enough to study the course in their university and match the rigor? That's one. Secondly, is the child capable of having those skills that is transferable, whatever is being taught in the school to the university level? Has a child has got that potential? Third is, can the child apply in the skills or knowledge, whatever they have gained at school, into completely unfamiliar situations? Has these competencies been gained by the school, or did the school facilitate all of this either to in the child so that they are going to thrive and be successful at the top universities? Now in Singapore, we are very much whatever the technology that is there, Singapore matches with the technology that comes up. Like you talk about the AI, Singapore schools use AI for different purposes. It is part and parcel. We use AI for different purposes in school. In saying that, we are still, I would say, hardcore traditional school, but we integrate AI, integrate technology so that we match our children, do have the skill and ability to match what the expectation from the universities. Singapore is big on fintech. It is economic hub of the world. Therefore, we also teach the children about how to manage financial literacy. Somebody, the professor spoke about that. So into fintech, into technology, into AI, into like economics and business and everything. So in the school, we do run these courses quite often so that our skills are up to the expected level. We are actually running an NPSI symposium on AI on 19th of August. Like this, we run various symposiums so that the children, when tomorrow go for an interview at NUS or at Ivy League or Cornell or Dermot or UPenn, they know exactly what to expect. So that's where we train them. And we are very fortunate to be what I call as a red dot, and Singapore is celebrating 60th years of the birth tomorrow. 9th August is a Singapore Independence Day. And yeah, lot of facilities, lot of opportunities. And as a school, we are trying to live up to the expectations of the country as well as the top universities. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your inputs, Dr. Chris. Coming to the main topic that we started with, how can we create a seamless and empowering journey from schools to universities and beyond? My question now, that's an open question. Whomsoever would want can pick up the question from here. Are the schools in India specifically, or rather, let's say, are the CBSE schools? Because Chris sir, Mahajan sir, you've been heading CBSE schools also. So, are the schools ready to implement the NEP vision of seamless school to university progression? And if not, then what more do you think is required?
Mahajan sir, you can go ahead and I'll chip in. Yeah.
Yeah, up to a large extent, it is implemented. Up to a large extent. Again, the thing is, it depends on the will and wish of the school and the school leaders. In what way you have to take your school. See, I 100% agree with Dr. Chris Butt that maybe the CBSE schools called traditional schools, maybe. But that traditions are providing the platform to the students to jump high with inclusion of AI, inclusion of career counseling, inclusion of awareness, inclusion of exploring the machine learning, all the things, mental well-being, physical well-being, all these different aspects, inclusion, different devices, different supports are making them well equipped to jump high. That much even in the sky is not the limit, it is just beginning. So we cannot go away from our traditional values and our traditional thing. See, the teachers, they call it, the Indian teachers are traditional. No doubt, they are traditional, but they are techno-savvy also. Now, they are the one who are helping the students to be techno-savvy instead of becoming techno-addict. Otherwise, the students, if the teachers are not coming into the picture, they are becoming techno-addict. These are the teachers who have the traditional value as well as well equipped with the various technological aspects. They are training the student, mentoring the students under the CBSE directives and CBSE, curriculums to embrace the machine instead of they themselves becoming a machine. So
Yeah, in an interesting
CBSE
point,
schools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yes, sir.
interesting point, Dr. Mahajan is touching there. So when I was at actually MIT, as I said only last week, the MIT professors, they use blackboard and chalk. They even,
Yes, yes,
because I
yes,
have seen from my own eyes last week. But in
yes,
saying
yes.
that, the AI lab is just attached to that auditorium. So the
Auditory.
professors, whatever they teach, the fundamental principle of whether it is physics or chemistry or mathematics, there is, you cannot replace that. But how you
You cannot.
apply the fundamental principle into the current knowledge domain, that's where your AI comes in. And it was so amazing to see the nanotechnology lab is adjacent to the biggest auditorium of MIT. It was done in 1863, and professors use blackboard and chalk, white chalk piece. You don't believe
Right.
that they use it even today. Yeah.
Yes.
I would like
That's the thing.
to
We
with
cannot move away from the fundamentals.
um, see, schooling, whether it is CBSE or a state board or an international board, is never a factor which is deciding the trajectory of a student. We all of us who are here, probably we are coming from the traditional CBSE or alike school systems, be it Dr. Chris or Dr. Pramod Mahajan or Dr. Mahapatra.
Yeah, state board. I'm a product of a state board.
Yes.
Same. Yeah.
So it is something inside the student which gets stimulated. So all that is required is, are we touching that stimulus point of the student somewhere in the school system or not? Believe me, the school can never be prepared enough. There's always a scope to improve further and further. But whatever is being done today with respect to connecting the school with what is happening at higher academia. All the school systems are making their best efforts and connecting with the universities, and we have all the universities in and around who are chipping in to support it. We have Dr. Mahapatra here, and being in Delhi, I have traveled far off to Alliance University, stayed there for 3 days in the campus, understood the kind of programs that are being offered. And when I came back, and when the students asked me, ma'am, is it safe enough to go? Will I not be into a cultural shock if I go there? I had the right kind of answers to be given to the student. So I think that is what is required. Sometimes our own knowledge becomes restrictive. So the more we are exposed, the more we understand, the better exposure we can give to the students. All of them are going to pick what they want to pick. We are going to give them the same kind of thing that we are giving.
Can I just chip in? I mean,
Sure, ma'am,
it
sure,
should
sure.
be kind of, where we build a culture which is growth oriented, not pressure driven. We can encourage them to explore their own interest, their aptitude, rather than, it's like celebrating learning, not just the grades. So that's what I feel is the right path to guide a student, irrespective of whether they are at school or in higher education. So that is what matters the most.
Yeah.
So
No, actually, the future is uncertain completely. Technology is changing. Everything is every new thing is becoming a new normal. Now you take whatever with the university, whatever with the course you take. If they started with the first year, when they graduated, whatever they have understood, whatever they have learned, it's become outdated, isn't it? It is happening.
Yeah.
So now how to apply whatever they have learned in the unknown situation, that's matter. And at the schooling, we are training them only the same thing, whatever you are learning, how to apply it in the unknown situation. That matters. I wanted to cite the example of, our flying lieutenant, Abhinandan.
Yeah.
With the outdated plan,
Yes.
F-16, when that cat war was going on. So who won and why? It's a skill. It is beyond a skill. He has applied whatever he has learned in the unknown situation very effectively and very accurately. That matters. It is not a technology. F-16, the worldwide topmost technology, aircraft. Where that technology has gone, where that skill has gone.
True.
What important is that traditional rigorous training which Abhinandan has got made him the Abhinandan. So the schooling has to do that thing to train the students to whatever they have learned in the unknown situation, in the dark situation when there is a complete darkness, how they will apply it. Because courses will come, skills will come, technologies will come and go. And when you complete your graduation, your post-graduation, that will be outdated. So that is more important. And there is no gap actually, which we have to bridge. We have to make them future fit, future ready. That's all. And which future ready? That future which is uncertain, which is not known. So we have to make them ready to face the unknown challenges. That is the main aspect.
Sir, I have one more input here, which I find very relevant when we compare. We are talking of universities abroad, and and our children on a larger level. If I see the greater fraction of the students in India, in most of the CBSE state schools, whichever schools, they are preparing for the universities in India, and a very small fraction of students are preparing for the universities abroad. So when the children are preparing for the universities in India, the Indian university system, the higher academia system, to a large extent, takes up admission on the basis of the score figures rather than the holistic profile of the student. Many progressive universities have shifted the admission criteria, balancing the need of what have they scored academically as also what their profile is reading. And as we see this shift increasing towards the reading of profile, I think going beyond the grades and running behind the marks will reduce on its own. So that is the kind of support that I see as a school leader, which I very strongly need from the higher academia, so that the parents stop running behind the grades and start understanding the significance of the finer aspects of education than the marks alone.
Yeah, let me just add to what Miss Anubhav, Dr. Anubhav has just said. You know, in the UCAS applications or the common app for the universities in the US or the UK, they are supposed to write the personal statements as well as answer a few questions. Interestingly, I was giving some feedback on a essay that a child has written on Common App the other day. There are 9 prompts. In the last prompt, where a child can pick up anything that is comfortable to them and write an essay. I was clearly told by the children who took us around MIT and Harvard, the moment you pick up the 9th essay, whatever is your essay, you are going to be at the bottom of the pile. The reason, because you are choosing a topic which is very comfortable so that you know I can build on this, but you are not challenging yourself on the questions 3, 4, 5, 6, because to answer those questions or the essay topics, you literally have to think outside the box, as Professor Mahajan, as Dr. Mahajan has said. It is not just knowing how Newton's law work. What is the relevance of Newton's law in real life, where you have seen, where you applied, and should there be a situation in the future, how you are going to face that situation. So those 4, 5, 6 prompts where completely they have to look outside the box, apply the knowledge outside the box. And the girl was very clear. She said the moment you pick up the 9th prompt, you are at the bottom of the pile. So don't, the children need to know that it is not what is comfortable. So can they go outside their comfortable zone and try to address or solve or resolve issues? So that's where they are actually looking at in foreign universities. 45 and 45 IB is very good, but what else they are bringing into the table? What are those skills and attributes and the idea the child has got? That's where it is. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Like in our parents, parent teachers association, and when we are giving the orientation, we always say the schools are not the factories of the marks, and the marks are not the ultimate life of a student. That is beyond that. And the students who are not behind the marks, they are performing very well. And no, it doesn't mean that they should not score the marks. That are reasonably good marks. That is good enough. And yes, whenever they are uncomfortable, whenever they are confused, rather than from that 3 idiots we can understand, when they become an idiot beyond any concept, they perform very well. So schooling has to some sort of create that sort of confusion in their mind. So their thinking process enhances, and they think and then they do that thing. If they select the comfort areas, their performance will not be that level, because they will not use their inherent talent to think. Whatever known to you, it doesn't matter. Whatever not known to you, if you're working on that, that is real education. And this is not simple. It's a tough situation, and that's why the students are facing a lot of challenges. It's a tough situation. They have to APJ Abdul Kalam used to say that if you have to shine like a star, you have to learn how to burn like a star. Now the schooling has to start that process of burning. We have to teach them how to burn. Then only they will shine like a star in the universities and all, and then they will do something beyond that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mahajan and Anubha ma'am on the same. Dr. Mahapatra, I would want to understand your views. Like Anubha ma'am mentioned that a lot of universities are only taking students who have scored higher good marks in their maybe board examinations or the other examinations, and there are very few who focus on the other abilities of a child. So, ma'am requested that that's where the schools would want help from the universities or the universities to understand in terms of evaluating the students while admission. So, what are your viewpoints on that, ma'am, and how can this gap be bridged, please?
During the interview process itself, in fact, during admission, we try to understand the extracurricular and co-curricular activities or any other additional achievement that a student has. And there is a scholarship also which is attached to that, which the university recognizes. I would like to, this answer would be very, befitting to the question that you have asked. I had one student because I was the head of the electrical and electronics engineering department before heading the Center for Research. So I had one student of mine who was a very average student. And since you said that we are looking at universities which are focusing only taking students who come with a better grade, no, that's not true. So he was a very average student, but he was a national level badminton player, and he scored with a 65%. He was in his BTech, and then he was able to get a scholarship through Alliance University, collaboration that we have with one of the reputed university in Europe. I think that's Anthrop University, where he went ahead, did sports management, just based on his that one credential that he was a national level sports champion in badminton. So we do recognize these additional curricular and co-curricular activity. We have a dedicated department that is known as DOS, Department of Student Services, which looks at all these activities of student. And in fact, Alliance University is one university which is looking at how to drive interdisciplinary research, how to drive academia in an interdisciplinary mode, because that is what the future is. So if I talk of any of the recent, let's say an EV, which is something which is trending now in India, we are looking at alternative as an EV. It's totally interdisciplinary. If you are looking at, I come from electrical background, so I'll give that as a best example, that a smart grid, it's totally driven by people who need to be having engineering knowledge from all field. So there is integration of machine learning in it, that's integration of IoT in it. So it's all interdisciplinary. So that is where the challenge is. You cannot have a student who is aligned to one field. You need to understand what the world needs.
Talking about the interdisciplinary approach that you mentioned, and as we all know, NAP again is trying to emphasize on the interdisciplinary aspects. In fact, a lot of schools have already implemented in their curriculum that the students can look forward to choose a different career options also for themselves. While they are their 11th and 12th, they can choose different subjects like we have in the interdisciplinary approach in universities. And since Alliance is focusing and emphasizing on innovation, sustainability, and interdisciplinary collaborations, again, NEP is emphasizing on that, then how can schools integrate these values into their curriculum so that the students' transition becomes more easier into the university? I would request the school leaders to also focus on what Gautam sir initially mentioned in the beginning of the discussion today, that there is a lack of parent awareness in this. A lot of parents still feel that the interdisciplinary collaboration is not working, whereas NEP, on the other hand, is focusing on that, and universities are also taking that. Can we have any of the school leaders to take this first,
yeah,
please?
Certainly.
Talking
See,
on the NEP
interdisciplinary aspects are already there. Now, if you can see the curriculum and the syllabi, it itself is interdisciplinary. It is itself is interdisciplinary. You cannot teach mathematics without understanding the physics and chemistry behind it. You cannot teach economics without having the knowledge of proper mathematics. So that integration is already going on. Not only that, the art integration, the sports integration, everything is there in NEP. It's aspect, but yes, now the delivery method of the teachers are also improved a lot by variety of trainings and variety of awareness programs like this. They are also applying that same sort of approach. And definitely that awareness is there among the parents. And if it is not there, we have to develop that. Interdisciplinary, even go to the IITs or engineering colleges also, and NITs also, or the good private universities also. So there is no foundation of the particular stream. Now, take the case of my own case. My daughter, she is a computer science engineer, but she is working in a company which is designing the tractors for NASA. And our performance last time, I have seen that her performance is very good. I asked her, "Kisi, you are computer science, and how you are doing this?" One of our students, she has done BTech in civil, and now she is a designer. She's a software designing engineer. So she's designing the software. Our basic knowledge is what? Civil. But because of that integrated aspect, because of the integration, engineering is how to engineer. That's all. How to engineer. So then that engineering will be applicable in everywhere. And that's why I'm telling that these fundamental courses, basic platforms matters a lot. Hybridization in the curriculum and syllabi will create the problem. That hybridization has to be replaced by the integration, by the interdisciplinary integration, and by the interdisciplinary approach, not only the integration, but interdisciplinary approach. And as far as now, Anubha ma'am was telling, ki some universities are giving best on the marks and all only. See, I have done one survey last 10 years, within last 10 years, the CBSE toppers first 10 are not seen in the first 50 of NEET or in first 100 of JE. What does it mean? It means that the marks has lost their values, isn't it?
Yes.
And the people, and even we have done one survey for the IAS exams. So those who are the toppers, they were never having the distinction or anything during their graduation or post graduation. So things have changed, criteria have changed. But yes, certain universities, if they are not doing it, they should do that thing. So integration, interdisciplinary approach is more important. The student should think physics, applying mathematics, applying chemistry. Students should think biology, applying economics. And again, the ball is in the court of the teachers only. How effectively we are training the teachers for that?
Yeah,
That's
I
a
want
big
to
question.
add a bit in here.
Mm.
One of the chief guests at the MIT celebration, I was invited. That's the reason where I went there and took some children. Dale Fabre, he was a graduate of MIT in 1993. So he did the graduation in chemical engineering from MIT, did Harvard Business 3 years, and Harvard Law another 3 years. Now, what is he currently doing? He is telling people how to make money. So the question
Money.
that was asked to him, how come these you had a chemical engineering degree, Harvard Law, Harvard Business, but you're doing completely different? So his answer was very, very powerful and very pertinent. He said, all of these degrees that I got from Harvard or MIT, they have given me the skill to apply it to a situation where I can tell people how to apply your knowledge to make money. That's what I'm doing. I
Yes,
said,
yes.
it is not that the degree of what I learned is useless. It is useful, but I'm using those skills and attitudes and abilities into a new situation. The child who actually took us around, he was 21-year-old, that girl who took us around, who said she is studying psychology at MIT, but she is doing her research in biochemical lab because they have a paper where they can go for interdisciplinary. So what probably as school leaders we should also look at is, where it's possible we think that a physics lesson can overlap with an economics or some history of physics. We teachers can come together and collaborate, maybe try to run a lesson where everybody, like a team teaching, the history side of it, the physics side of it, the economic side of it. It's a very bold move. There are two problems with this. One, teachers might think, intimidated. The word intimidation may come here. A history teacher might think that, oh, if I'm teaching history when a physics and chemistry or a biology teacher is sitting, what they might think about my abilities. As long as that intimidation is not there, if we all work as a team, the child will get the exposure to try their knowledge, skill, and abilities in various areas which are cross cultural and cross curricular. Yeah.
Yeah, Tanya, I'll totally agree with both the panel members here, and Dr. Kirti as well as Dr. Pramod Mahajan. But the fundamental gap that I see is in both teacher training and teacher readiness, mental readiness to absorb the multidimensional teaching in the to bring in the multidimensional teaching in the classroom, because they have grown up with that fixated mindset of going to the class, picking up the textbook, completing the curriculum and finishing it off. And there is a large fraction of faculty members like that. So the more we give them the exposure of how things can be done easily, one common thing that happens in schools is Model United Nations Conference, and see how beautifully the children learn the concept and those concepts stay with them forever. And they are not doing it for physics or chemistry or biology or mathematics or social studies, but without realizing they are integrating it all. And without realizing we are doing it every time. There is a mathematician who's generally I've seen that mathematicians are good singers because their understanding of numbers and rhythm comes naturally to them. That is multidimensional mode. I recommend this book to all the educators, Fluid by Ashish Jaiswal, where he's taken up case studies of prominent people, be it Einstein or be it Rabindranath Tagore, telling them how they were not toppers in their subject areas in their school, but they were multidimensional in their approach. And it was the multidimensional approach that took them to the next level. And there are umpteen examples in that book from across the globe. So multidimensional understanding, the more we talk about it, Dr. Mahajan, you've brought in very pertinent aspects. And Dr. Kirti, you gave examples. And yesterday I was sitting with one couple, the mother, a very acclaimed professional, and the child studying in a BTech college somewhere in India. I asked him, what are you studying? He said, I'm studying computer science engineering. I said, what do you want to do? I want to do blockchain and I want to go abroad. I said, why? I was hoping that he will give me a logical reason, which university, which particular course, what kind of work he wants to do. He said, because the best future is in fintech and blockchain, and there is no existence of fintech and blockchain combination in India. And to that young gentleman, I told, I'm a 50-plus-year-old. My own classmate started a very successful fintech-based blockchain company. Go and Google out Intain. So these kind of perceptions have to be broken. And a lot is being done. The more awareness we create, and I will salute EduTV for bringing up this platform and taking it to the larger audience for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anupama ma'am. Dr. Mahapatra, if you would want to add anything from the university's point of view here, please.
See, perception, yes, what ma'am just pointed out, the perception and the belief needs to change, and we started with that thought actually when we were looking at the parental pressure coming into picture, and then Mahajan sir put it across, now this generation knows what they want, and that is actually a fact. Parental pressure doesn't work anymore. So I can just give my example. I mean, my sons just gave a statement to both of us, you both are engineers, but please don't force me to be an engineer. I don't want to. And we never said a word to him after that. He is on his own and he will do well because he knows what he is doing, and that is today's generation. So let's believe the younger generation, let them grow based on their own skill set, based on what is inherently good in them. That, I think, would be the best way to take things forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mahapatra. Just one sentence I would request from each one of you in terms of your conclusion, your take as to how can we bridge the gap between, a seamless journey from schools to universities and beyond. Starting from Dr. Chris Bhatt, please.
All right.
One sentence, sir.
Yeah, in one sentence. Yes, where you are, what is the expectation, and how can you actually bridge any gap to meet the expectation? Everything will be absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Drive the change, don't get driven by the change. Everything will be taken care.
Anupama.
I learn a lot and I talk about it to my parents and to my students.
Okay, Dr. Mahapatra.
Skills over immediate return. Focus on skills rather than on immediate return.
Great, great. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing your insights and experiences. I think it's clear that bridging the gap between schools and university in education is not just about transaction, it's more about transformations rather, I would come to. And on behalf of EduTV, I would like to thank all our panelists and participants for joining us today. To stay updated on our upcoming sessions, please do follow us on EduTV social media handles. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you very
wonderful
much.
day.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.